Good morning, everyone. I'll make this brief. I have with me Ms. Diana Bolden, who is the Director of Finance for the City of Birmingham. I want to thank her and her team for working really, really hard on behalf of the citizens and everyone else, staff, department heads, residents, city council, everyone's input for allowing us to present this proposed 2026 budget, which is $591 million, with a super laser focus on neighborhood revitalization. That includes $15 million in street resurfacing, $3 million for weed abatement, $2 million for demolition, as well as additional fundings for street calming and recycling. So much more related to our youth, and as well as public safety, addressing crime and decreasing crime in our city, not just from an enforcement standpoint, but as well as a balance reduction strategy that has been supportive from this council. So what I wanted to do is just go straight into it, open up for any questions you may have. I know you heard a lot earlier presented to the council just for, short time, hour and a half. If there's any additional context I can provide for you, ready to answer any questions you may have.
I guess what are your kind of like main points with this budget, and why did you hone in on like revitalization and violence prevention, things like that?
Yeah, well, look, with the city tax dollars, a city government is going to be responsible for two things. That's going to be public infrastructure and public safety. When we think about public infrastructure, we say neighborhood revitalization because it's the number one thing people want and people need, basic city services. But we have to pay streets. And so since I've been mayor, we put in over $100 million in street paving. So this budget just adds on top of the priority of street paving with $15 million. But those other things around city infrastructure, sidewalks are important. The things that have continued to be a problem in the city, land mass so wide, but our population has decreased since the 70s. So that's created blight and that's created empty lots. So increasing the funding of weed abatement and blight removal are also extremely important to go towards neighborhood revitalization. The other is our youth. Listen, on top of the $87 million that goes directly to the school system from ad valorem property taxes, we wanted to add an additional $5 million on top of that to support the Birmingham Promise with tuition scholarships as well as job opportunities in the form of internships and apprenticeships. But we also wanted to go towards the whole holistic thing we can do to invest in our children, which is mental health and financial literacy and conflict resolution. These things are extremely important. And then public safety. The violence reduction initiatives are clearly working. As Chief Pickett noted in a public statement yesterday, we've had 30 homicides in the year 2025, which again to date, May 20, 2025 compared to May 20th, 2024, it's over 40% reduction in homicides. But something else is happening in that. The clearance rate is hovering 80%, which is higher than the national average this year. Plus, they're still solving homicides for 2024. So the enforcement piece is working here, where the number of felony arrests weekly, you all are receiving that information from public notices from PPD. What we want to do is continue to add on that as it relates to our violence reduction strategy, the street teams on the ground, and with our partnership with UAB, reducing the probability of retaliation. Those things are working. So the investments in public safety, not just from an enforcement standpoint, but from a prevention, reentry standpoint, are very, very helpful as well. So our youth, our neighborhoods, and decreasing crime are clearly the priority in this budget.
Thank you so much. Now today you answered quite a lot of questions.
Just 1,000.
Just 1,000. That's been some. That was more tomorrow. I guess just after today, what happens next?
Yeah. So the proposed budget is now in the council hands. The new fiscal year for the city of Birmingham runs from July 1 to June 30th of every year. So in the ideal world, this budget is passed before July. So I think the council will take the next, all of June and May, about 6 weeks, and go through a process where they have public hearings and hear input from the public. They go through their own process of engaging me, engaging the team, back and forth with some of the things proposed in here, answering questions among questions. And then I think when they're satisfied and they've exhausted all their questions, we've answered their questions, they'll be in the best position to actually vote on this budget. they vote on it, then it can go into effect July 1, and then we can just continue city services. Anyone else? All right. I think they're tired from this morning, Rick. Thank you all so much.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Y'all have a good day.